Retropalooza.
All right, we ready to get started? All right, well, as you probably know, we are Game Sack. I am Dave. I'm Joe. This is Dave.
I'm Dave. Yes. And welcome to Game Sack. That's Joe's line, but
You're supposed to tell me that's exactly right.
that's exactly right, Joe.
And, well, this is our first panel ever, and we really don't know what the hell we're doing. So we just figure open it up to questions, comments, rants, stuff like that.
Yeah. It might be fairly short.
Come up
But
to the mic.
We have a microphone right in the middle of the aisle so we can see you and everyone can shoot their gaze right at you and fun stuff like that. So hopefully, feel free to ask us anything. Dave?
yeah, no, this is nice. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. This
Yeah.
is actually a bigger turnout than I thought we would have gotten, so this is really cool to see. It's been nice to meet everybody out on the floor out there. It's so nice to see the fans and actually meet you guys. You know, it's a really cool experience for us.
Absolutely. So, anyone have any questions?
Okay,
All
number
right,
one.
we got one.
Say.
Oh,
12
mic's
mega
not
power
working.
in the voice of your voice.
12 mega power. Only 12? I couldn't do like 24. I had to do 12. Okay.
It just has a nice twang at 12, but whatever number is good. My question is, how did you guys get started and say, hey, let's produce a series of videos? What was the precipice of starting that out?
That's tough because Dave has always been wanting to do kind of, I don't know if you really thought it should have been a YouTube series.
No, I never had planned to.
Yeah, it was like a point counterpoint thing.
Yeah, there's a movie that maybe some of you've seen called the Kentucky Fried Movie, and there's a segment in there called Point Counterpoint, where these two people bigger back and forth. And I was like, well, we could do that with, Sega versus Nintendo. I mean, we got plenty of ammunition for that, but
Oh, yeah.
then Joe kind of launched it from there and said, well,
Well, we actually put it on the back burner, and it's like, well, maybe, I don't know. And then for whatever reason, we decided, hey, let's put it on YouTube. You know, we've got lots of people on YouTube that have channels. They're getting like tons of views with absolutely no effort, and we thought we could do the same. And it turns out we had to put effort into it, but we kind of kept the same idea, but
yeah, it's changed over the years, as everybody's seen. I mean, at first we were pretty blatantly back and forth, but now,
yeah.
As you know,
Yeah, like at first when we made the Sonic versus Mario video, and we just made absolutely insane arguments. Like you said Sonic 2 was the worst, and I said Sonic R was the better than Mario Kart, which is
yes,
stupid.
which everybody knows.
But that was just meant to piss people off, get people talking, and it worked.
It worked.
That episode still gets hundreds, well, not hundreds, but dozens of comments a day.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah. So, stuff.
But yeah, anybody else?
Hi guys, welcome to Texas.
Hi.
Welcome down.
Thank you.
Arlington.
Arlington.
Joe, I know you work in video production, filmmaking.
Yes.
Dave, without getting too specific, what do you do? Are you also
I am
content
not
creator?
anywhere in that field. I actually work for FedEx. I'm a courier, so I have no skills in editing video or anything.
He's
of that
asked,
nature.
and
Yeah.
I
just-
ignore him.
You're the PPG. You're the professional party guest.
Yeah, exactly. We'll find out
The
tonight.
hype man. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How did we get our name?
Game collection.
Game collection. How did we get our game collection?
Well, that's been in the making for over 25 years. I mean, back when you started collecting games, of course, you always keep your most favoriteest games, but other ones that this is all right, this is great, but you sell them because you want to buy other games, because when you're a teenager, you don't have any sort of income.
Yeah.
So, and over the years, it just builds up, and
Yeah, I've still got a lot of games that I bought. I have my original Phantasy Star, which, you know, it's not necessarily like a high dollar game, but it's mine. And so I actually sold that to my friend Tom, and I bought it back from him like years and years later, and my game saves were still there. Bought a lot of stuff back from him. But, you know, you go through that selling phase, and you just like...
And you regret it. And you totally regret that stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that I wish I'd never sold.
Yeah.
So,
what were we talking about recently that you sold, like, back in the day?
There's a lot of Ninja Gaiden trilogy on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just for no reason. You know, I mean, like, well,
yeah, it's like
they didn't put any extra effort in this. You know, it's just the 3 NES games. You know, well, that, yeah. But,
kind of, I mean, the buttons.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. Anyways, that was just a huge mistake. I always regret
rub it in.
Yes. And what about you, Joe? What's the?
I sold my original Sega Master System, and you know, back when I got it, you know, I kept the box, and I always, you know, I went over to my dad's house on weekends, and I always packed it up in the box, and you know, it had a little handle on it, and I took it with me wherever I went, and and like when I visited my family out in the East Coast, I just took it on the plane and stuff. And I sold that box and everything. I was like, oh, they'll give me a lot of money if I give them the box. No, they give me like $20. It's like, oh my god,
nothing.
Totally regret that. And there's lots of other stuff I regret selling, but what can you do?
I know.
But it takes a while to get all this stuff, like Panzer Dragoon Saga. I think we both got that when it first came out.
Yeah, that was at the very end of Saturn, so...
Yeah, I think I ordered that straight from Sega.
Oh, I didn't. I just went to EB.
Really?
Yes. Should have bought 2 at one point, you know.
Yeah, why didn't you know?
I didn't know. I never knew.
So, yeah, it takes a while. So it's not, like, we get a lot of comments like, oh, you guys must be rich. No, we don't just go out and buy this stuff.
An instant collection.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, we've been collecting for...
And that's why we make a show about it, because we've have all this stuff, and
the
we want to talk about it.
There's some stuff we don't have. As a few people have mentioned today that our episode about the X68000 is something that was loaned to us. And, God, we wish we had that thing, but, you know.
It takes up a lot of room. I mean, it's
huge.
You put it on your table, it takes up the whole table.
Yeah. And all your power, too.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. That's game collections.
Do you guys actively pursue collecting still? Or?
Do we actively pursue collecting still? Yes.
Yes, definitely, but not looking to spend too much money on it. I mean,
I mean, like, we see a little Samson out there. It's like, if we see it for a good price, it'd be stupid to pass up. Like, recently I found, what was that? Was that Mech Assault? What was that game?
Oh, Metal Storm.
Metal Storm. I was looking for that game. It's like, yeah, if I find this, sure, I'll pick it up. And, you know, everyone wanted, what was it?
About $100 was the one store we went to.
Really? Wow.
Really?
And, and then we came down and found this one other store. It's like, hey, do you know, Jen asked, do you happen to have Metal Storm? Oh, I think we do.
Yeah, maybe I do, maybe I don't.
He brings it out with the manual. It's like, how much do you want for it? And I'm just like waiting, you know, for him to say like $200 and $10. Yeah. Yes, I will buy that. Quickly leave the store. So.
Yeah, just having patience.
Yeah.
You know, because it'll come around, right, Eric? I mean, that Samson will come around. Just be patient.
Oh, the flea market one?
Yes, yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, Knights of the Round.
Yeah, Knights of the Round. That was a $10 game, and that was like a month ago. We went to a flea market. Some guy just had a huge crate of like Super Nintendo stuff. We picked that out there. That was nice.
That was like, what was he saying? Like, oh, you could have
a
whole lot for $100.
Take everything for $70, but
well,
you know, I mean, I already have a couple of Super Nintendos and at least a couple of Nintendos, so I didn't need any more of those. But
exactly.
Yeah.
How did you get your name?
How did we get our name? Well, the first episode we shot the day the 3DS came out. We decided we were gonna do an episode, put it on YouTube, see what turns out.
Something.
Gotta call it something. Of course, we wanted something slightly vulgar, so GameSack Yes is.
Yeah. But we didn't want to come out and say, like,
no, we didn't want to.
Scrotum or something. Right, off the bat. Yeah. So we pull up the
online thesaurus.
And
it's like, okay, Game Squirt. We almost went with Game Squirt.
With Game Squirt, yeah.
But I don't know.
But then, yeah, we thought, well, there's probably gonna be kids watching the show possibly, so.
Came SAC. I don't know how we
is-
settled on that.
Yeah, it could be go either way.
Yeah. And then we shot the
Yeah.
episode, and I went home and drew a really crappy little sack. So,
Look more like a, yeah.
like a white beater T-shirt.
Yeah, white beater t-shirt.
So-
Exactly.
But yeah, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
And that was only 3 years ago. It seems like forever. Oh man.
What is your favorite console? And anything by Nintendo doesn't count.
Oh, come on.
What is our favorite console? And anything by Nintendo does not count.
I pass that question.
Wow. Okay, I'll go first then.
Anything
You
not
have
by
to
Nintendo.
no,
God dang.
you have to answer.
Okay.
I don't know. I kind of go back and forth because I really, really like the Genesis. You know, it has its weaknesses. They all have their weaknesses, but I have a soft spot for the Saturn too, especially when you start collecting all the imports. And I don't know, I just have a lot of fond memories with that. And same with the Master System. And the TurboGrafx, yeah, that can't be ignored. And it's just one of my most favorite consoles that nobody seems to know about. I mean, everyone in this room probably knows about it, but you go out on the street, what's Sega? Yeah, they probably know. What's Nintendo? They definitely know. What's TurboGrafx? They do not know. And I don't know, something about that just makes it a little bit more appealing to me. But the
Yeah.
games are also very, very good.
Yeah.
And unfortunately going up in price because it didn't sell very
Yeah,
well.
because they're scarce.
Because of your shows.
Oh, I hope not, yeah.
You have to answer the question.
Mine, I would say mine is the Genesis, if I didn't choose Nintendo. Basically, our arcade ports of like Golden Axe and Altered Beast. I know a lot of people don't like that game, but I like it.
Yeah.
And Streets of Rage, of course. Games like that just sold it for me.
Yeah, you're a big Golden Axe fan. Dave
I
is a
do.
big Golden Axe fan.
I love
Bigger
Golden
than me, actually. I mean, I like the
Yeah.
game, but Dave loves it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, something about that game.
what?
Something about that series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Except for Beast, what is it?
Beast Rider?
Yeah,
What,
whatever
the
that was.
PS2 one?
Beast Rider, the Xbox 360 one.
What about that terrible Game Boy one?
There's a Game Boy Golden Axe?
Or was that Altered Beast?
Alter. Oh, you're thinking the
Oh.
Game Boy Advance
Game
one.
Boy
Game Boy
Advance.
Advance Altered Beast. Yeah, that is fairly terrible. Also, I don't have the Game Boy Advance one. I have the PlayStation 2, the Japanese Altered
Oh,
Beast.
okay.
I think
Was
it's
it done,
Project
redone in
Altered Beast.
Redone in polygons?
Oh, it's not redone. It's like completely rebuilt. It's like a brand new game. It's just Altered Beast.
Mhm.
And you like swim around these 3D places.
Oh yeah.
I think it came out in Europe too, but I'm not sure because I remember there being a language barrier because I had the Japanese. It did. Okay, so I'm curious about that. If it'd make it any more playable in English, or
I don't want to find out.
but it's Altered Beast.
Per se.
All right.
TurboGrafx would have been more successful if they had packed in a better game besides Keep Courage versus Sega's Altered Beast.
Would TurboGrafx been more successful if they had packed in something better than Keith Courage? Probably. I mean, they tried it with Bonk later on, but maybe by then it was too late.
Too late.
Because my TurboGrafx came with both Keith Courage and Bonk, because I got it as a graduation present from high school. Came with both of those,
Very nice.
and still didn't take off then. It kind of picked up during the duo
Mhm.
phase when it came with like 90 games. And I don't know.
How expensive was it at launch?
The duo or Turbo?
No, the TurboGrafx.
I think TurboGrafx was right at 200, 199.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
So not
positive
crazy.
because I think the Genesis was 189.
They could have included Alien and Devil Crush.
No, that'd been fine.
That would have been great. I don't think Devil's Crush was made yet. Alien Crush, yeah. What they should have done is they should have included Blazing Lasers because that's a very, very accessible game. Anyone can play it. Just pick it up and play it. It was there at launch, and it's a fantastic game. Some of the stages was a little too long for me, but it's still a great game.
Did you ever hear the rumor that when Midway was looking for a publisher to release Mortal Kombat unedited, like they talked to NEC America
I did not hear that.
about doing like an exclusive like duo launch of Mortal Kombat, like unedited, and, you know,
With
on
blood and
CD
everything.
Where-
so that people don't need
Where did you hear that?
blogs.
Huh.
You know, I think it might
Yeah.
have been something Ed Boon mentioned offhandedly at one point. But, I mean,
That would have been great.
Turbo and Midway, the developers, they're all in Chicago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, some of you probably know I'm not the hugest Mortal Kombat fan, but I can't deny the legacy the game has. And that would have been great to have it on a turbo, because I think a lot of people would have come over to that. And if they had an uncensored version of that, especially when you had to at least type in a code, I think, for the Sega version, and like I think you were SOL on that.
Yeah, on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Mhm.
It would have looked
That would
good
help.
too.
Yeah.
So,
Any
sad.
Dreamcast hidden gems?
Any Dreamcast hidden gems? Well, I
Yes.
yes, but there's one game that I can't play because I have to hook it up with like an S video cable, because I have it hooked up VGA, and this game, Air Force Delta,
Oh yeah.
it won't play with VGA, and it could be a hidden gem. I don't know. I'm gonna have to hook it up to a regular TV.
It's pretty awesome.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
By Konami, it's like you think
Konami,
Konami
yeah.
would have supported the VGA box, but I guess not.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of later games in the Dreamcast life.
Yeah.
The
one-
Technomancer and
One of them is sort of the Berserk. A lot of it's very interesting. And the main voice actor, Michael Bell, has also been like an actor. He was like Prowl in Transformers, and he was also in East Book 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx and stuff like that. And it's just a really cool hack and slash game. You'd like it.
yeah, no, I played it.
But I played it like a year ago. And I was gonna put it in an episode for some reason, whatever, I don't know what episode, but it put it in another game. But I remember it being kind of cryptic. Like I couldn't get past the stage, and I didn't have time to figure it out. And I was like wandering around this town, going around in circles. So, but it is a fun, interesting game.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dreamcast definitely has a lot of good games on it. Like I say, the stuff that came out later on, after this system, after
Confidential
Sega.
Mission.
Huh?
Confidential,
yeah, that's a good one.
Confidential Mission, light gun game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun because it was like Virtua Cop, but not Virtua Cop, and but it's still set up the same way. Thought it was really
Mhm.
cool.
Right.
And we got 3 hands.
Free time and like you guys get together and have a retro game night. Do you guys have like a favorite game you keep coming back to, like cooperative or competitive or pass the controller? Anything?
Do we have a favorite game that we keep coming back to for like multiplayer game nights?
Multiplayer
And
games.
you know what that one is? That's going to be Super Monkey Ball, and and that's one of my favorite games in the world. And Monkey Target.
And it's
I mean,
on the
this
Nintendo
guy is
system,
so
yes.
good at Monkey Target.
Target. Yeah.
I'm
the first
okay.
one, the first Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah, the first one.
Part 2, they completely changed the Monkey Target up.
Yeah, the first one's the best. The
But
Super
yeah.
Monkey Ball on the
Super Monkey
GameCube.
Ball. I don't know. We used to always play Mario Kart 64.
Mario Kart
As-
64.
Yeah, of course. Which I probably should have got in that tournament, but
It's
I
going on
had
right
a chance.
now.
I know it's really going on right now. Gosh, what else? It depends on how many people we have, really, too. I mean, if it's just 2 of us, then it would be something like a beat 'em up,
Yeah.
more leaning towards Streets of Rage than Final Fight or something. But if there's 4 of us, then yeah, something we all can handle.
Yeah, it depends on the skill level of the other.
No, it
players.
doesn't. That's the best part about it.
We can share this about GoldenEye because we have GoldenEye featured in our next episode, actually coming out next week. And to get 4 players, it was myself, Dave, Jen was the 3rd player, 4th
Yes.
player.
As my daughter, she's 6
6
years old. We didn't have anybody. She's just running around, and we're mascaring her. But
Yeah, she's just like running into walls. It was fun though, but we had to show 4 players. You can't talk about GoldenEye without not show the multiplayer.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. So
Fun times. Maybe she'll probably grow up and be her favorite game.
I hope.
Yeah. Getting sick of playing Crystal's ponytail.
Yes.
Aw.
Aww.
But she can beat him in Mario Kart 8, or you let her beat.
Yeah. No, she beats me constantly. Yeah. Oh, no,
Really?
I love, of course, let her win. You have to, because if not, then they start crying, and you don't want that.
Then she always expects to win. You have to let her taste defeat.
we'll come to that point eventually.
She's not going to handle it well.
No.
Hey guys, just want to say I really love your show, like the way it's professionally done. It's because there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that isn't, you know.
Mhm.
So
Thank
it's
you.
really interesting how much you guys know and stuff. What I want to ask, I guess you sort of already answered. What's in the pipeline for GameSec? Like you said, the Golden Eye sort of next.
Okay,
Is it the N64 episode or?
No, not
Oh.
our N64 episode is not very well received, but that's
No,
one of those
but-
controversial
because
ones
it was
that people
all
keep
racing
commenting. But yeah, but anyway, our next episode is movie-based games that are based on like movie franchises, and that's kind of interesting. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, actually, there's a few games on there that are, you know.
What's next after that? I want to do a Sega CD episode, but I've got a Sega CD Model 1 and 2. They both work fine. Dave's Model 1 has no
Yes,
right
audio
channel. We
issues.
replaced all the
Yeah,
caps.
we replaced them. Yeah.
And so we've got to get Dave a Model 2
Yes.
so he can record some games. Because I don't want to record
He
them.
doesn't want to record them.
So, because like most of the system-based episodes, except for the most recent ones, I've had to record all the gameplay, like for everything up until the 3DO. I think.
Yeah.
I had to record all the gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's
not
tough.
and now with 3DO, Mark lent us 2 of them, so you could.
I can do
play
it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, since we got our system, or yeah, you saw the modding episode.
yeah.
So we're got my Genesis modded.
Oh, yeah,
and,
he's-
yeah.
You're recording
And
your own
Nintendo
Genesis
modded-
footage
yeah,
now.
so finally.
Thank God.
It took you so long.
Yeah. So,
But beyond that,
beyond that, we haven't really.
it's hard to say because, as you know, there's a finite amount of retro games. So eventually we're going to have to start either moving on up or start a new channel. Who knows?
No.
Who knows what's going to happen?
No.
Well, we could do
hold
that.
on. I wanted to mention another episode we've got coming that we haven't started working on yet. They've been sitting in that box.
Do I even? Oh, yes, okay.
The CDI and the new one are going to be in a. I know, but we got to do it. We're going to put them in the same episode just to make it a little easier
To handle. Yeah.
There's not much more.
Somebody let us borrow the CDI, so we got to, you know.
And the new one, same person.
Oh, the same person?
Same
Okay.
person who let us borrow the X68000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's probably just letting you keep the CDI, a new one, but.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to try to get that out. And then we have like an idea list. that
Yeah, that we keep updating
and
it.
we keep not choosing half the
I
stuff
know.
on there.
What's up with that?
All right.
You guys going for any complete collection?
Are we going for any complete collections? I am going for a Sega Master System collection if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I can, a complete TurboGrafx collection. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think either of them are going to happen. I'd be happy to get like 90%, and you just no Buster Douglas, no Magical Chase. I have a friend who has Magical Chase. You have the Japanese.
I have the Japanese one.
So
Yeah.
that'd be
I
great.
was going for a complete Genesis collection just because of the Sega Genesis. It's more collectible with clamshell cases. But I got up to
You're
over
600.
5. Yeah, it was around 600 games. But you know what's left is sports stuff and some ultra rare stuff.
Okay, we had a couple more hands over here. Go, red hat.
Hey, by the way, nice shirt, Joe.
Well, thank you. AM2.
I was gonna ask, one of your ideas for a future episode, would y'all consider doing an episode over obscure music and rhythm games?
Rhythm games, you know, like the beat, maybe
Yeah,
type
like
stuff. I
yeah,
don't know,
or
maybe.
Guitar Hero type stuff, or
Yeah,
I mean, like,
you-
everyone knows Guitar Hero.
well,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
Just a little more, you know.
not Guitar Hero. You gotta do, what is that Konami one?
B Mania.
Konami has a lot.
No,
They
the
do. Guitar
Konami
Freaks.
Yeah, Guitar Freaks, yeah. That would be interesting.
It would be, but
You've got to buy on this.
I would have to buy
I'm not
on
going
Have to invest in control.
Yes.
Yeah.
And licensed music might be another problem too.
Yeah, that's
because,
true.
Well,
YouTube doesn't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the licensed songs, yeah, but they seem to be lenient on their original content.
Which would be good.
Yeah.
Well, if you would like to let us borrow your Guitar Freaks, we'd love to do a show on it.
Cool.
Yeah,
You
they,
got one over here?
in the green shirt
Oh, wait,
back
no,
there,
we're
he's
pointing
been-
at two different people. How?
Well,
I just saw.
I know. I'm
we'll
sorry.
Get back to you.
Yeah, no, he had his hand up first.
Yeah, okay.
He had his hand up for like a while.
Okay. What are your favorite cartoons?
What are our favorite cartoons?
Gosh.
Oh, mine has got to be Transformers Generation 1. I just love that. And I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan, but I have a soft spot for it. And then there's a lot. I really enjoyed. I don't know how Voltron works, but I enjoyed watching it. I mean, I know how a Voltron works, but
Oh,
like
right,
I don't
yeah.
know if there's like generations of it.
Right.
And so whatever it was, it was cool watching these robotic lions merge together, and I could never get a Voltron toy.
No, right. I also liked Transformers, but even more later, I liked a lot of the Disney stuff. Like, I know, Chip and Dale and
Gummy bears.
for some, yes.
No, some
But
of
it's
those
been
are
a
good.
long time since we watched cartoons.
Really?
Legitimately, yes. I mean,
I just went through the Transformers series again. Just
okay.
for fun.
Well,
I mean, that's
I
what
might have to
Netflix
borrow
is
it
for.
for you. Oh,
Well, I don't think it's like it. You can borrow my Netflix.
Okay, give me your account. It has been. It's been a very long time since I've watched a cartoon series.
What did you watch after school
I told you, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers.
when you were a teenager?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We had one hand over here.
As far as future episodes go, I know you said, things that you already did. Were you planning on covering PC games like FM Towns games and Sharp X68000 and stuff like that?
Are we planning on covering stuff like Sharp X68000? Well, we've done the Sharp X68000, but we will the FM Towns. I would love to do the FM Towns, both the Tower and the Marty. The same person who loaned us the X68000, he's local to us now. He does have FM Towns. I don't know how many games he has, if he has enough. Yeah, we'll definitely cover that.
Judging by what he's let us borrow so far,
Yeah,
I
pretty
imagine
much.
he has plenty.
I think he might have an MSX as well, and I don't know how many games he has.
Yeah.
But if he has a big enough game or a big enough collection where it's worthwhile showing, if we don't want to just show, hey, here's a hardware and 6 games, and these are 6 games no one cares about, or
Yeah.
very few people care about. But yeah, if we can get enough games, that'd be great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no American PC games either.
Not yet. Well, we did
Not yet.
Amnesia.
Well, yeah, but that's one game out of.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I was wondering if y'all had any future episodes about the history of Castlevania and chronological order.
oh,
Castlevania,
man. Yeah.
chronological-
I would
that's-
love
that's-
to do that episode.
That's something Dave wants to do. That's
I
something-
do.
But that's one of them I'm going to let him.
Yeah,
make and
I
record.
did start working on that a while ago, but
Did you?
I did. I've recorded a bunch of gameplay, but I have put it down since, just
Okay.
because we're busy
That's-
with other stuff.
It's definitely
But
a
I would
series.
love to do that because I'm a big fan of Castlevania.
So am I, but he's the bigger fan, and I feel he would handle it a little better.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. We'll see.
And you're going to have to put Castlevania 2 in there? I don't care.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't recorded that one yet.
All right. What's our favorite colors? Blue. I don't know why.
Neon green. No.
Mauve.
Mine is blue. I like blue. I like blue before you like blue.
That's true. You are a year older than I am. So. Sorry.
Oh boy.
What is the weirdest feedback we've
I
ever
don't think
gotten?
we can say that over here, can we? No.
Oh, we get a lot of weird stuff. Like on our recent episode about regional differences, it's like we got a lot of weird stuff. Like, oh, this is so weird. You guys are nerds.
You know, like,
How
what's
is-
the point in covering this stuff? Who really cares about this? But I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that's just
Oh, the
real
weirdest one.
filthy, dirty stuff, and
The
I
weird-
think you delete it all, but
No, the weirdest one.
you should.
The weirdest one is involving Jen. Because if you remember, I don't remember what episode that was, where we did an ending skit where Dave arrived late, and they're like, "Oh, Dave, we shot the episode without you," and he's like,
Yeah.
"What? Oh, I just did it with Jen," and she's like, "Oh, I want to talk about makeup and shoes," and people were like, "That's sexist. You can't say that." And she's the one saying that. She wrote the line herself. And it's like, how is that sexist?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, it's like PC
It's
police.
just a little too much.
Yeah, social justice warriors, gotta love them. So that was the one that just made me slap my forehead the hardest. It is just ridiculous.
But there's a lot of them out
And she
there.
really does like makeup and shoes. So
Joe, I don't want to spoil like future Game Chasers animated episodes for other people, but do you ever get back your copy of Musha?
I honestly don't know. We will find out. That hasn't been written yet. If it has, I haven't been told what happens. So I will find out.
You
So.
guys don't have creative input on your own selves.
We kind of do. They let us ad lib, and so.
But we're waiting on them to give us the go ahead on what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I guess it's going to be us and Alpha Omega Sin as the main people, and hopefully there won't be any Eric in there.
Yeah. His floating space ghost is gone. So.
But yeah, I love those Game Chasers animated.
Yeah,
those really do not get enough love, and they put a ton of work into those.
Yeah, those are
and
really
the latest one that came out like last Halloween. What was it? Like a year ago, last Christmas one. Yeah, and it was just amazingly. Yeah, it was a Christmas episode, and it felt like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like
It really did.
The earlier ones, they were good, but they felt more like maybe flash animation. But this one was just like very high quality, very good pacing, very tight. And Melvor and Billy did a great job creating all the visuals and stuff like that. And I can't recommend those enough.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
there's Melvor. So, and yeah, check out the Game Chasers animated episodes.
Yeah,
And a lot of people just won't give them the time of day because they're not out game chasing. But it's really creative and it's really cool stuff. You like?
That's a good cartoon to watch. Speaking of back to the cartoon topic. Maybe, I don't know.
Saw some.
What are the 3 rarest games in your guys' collections?
Oh boy.
3 rarest games in our collections. For me,
You have to narrow it down.
yeah. Well, I really don't check the value of stuff I own anymore because I'm not interested in selling it. I'm just like, cool, I have it, it's mine, the end. But from what I hear people talking about on online forums and stuff, probably Panzer Dragoon Saga, which we both have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how high in value Snatcher is getting. Is it getting out there? Yeah, I've got that. You don't have that.
I don't have Snatcher.
You suck.
I keep meaning to steal it from you.
Yeah, you keep stealing it from me, and you gave it back.
Exactly.
Snatcher on the
I keep
Sega
snatching
CD.
it.
Yeah. Got to snatch it back. And wow, I don't know. I can't visualize my collection because it's not one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I have that. I don't really like memorize my collection. It's like, oh yeah, I have that. And I don't know. I'm sure there's something else, probably on the Saturn. Something Japanese. I don't know. That's so hard.
It is a tough one.
No, that's a good
You're
question.
tough, too.
That is hard. Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I don't know. Mine, of course, would be Panzer Dragoon Saga. I do have a complete Earthbound and Dracula X on Super Nintendo.
You even have the scratch and sniff stickers.
I do with my Earthbound. That Earthbound is funny because I bought the cartridge only from the store, and then went to another store and they had the guy.
Yeah.
I bought that.
I remember giving you crap for that.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I did.
why would you buy a guy?
Why would you buy a guy?
Wait, no, this comes with the game. Oh, okay.
Shut up, dude. And then one of our viewers, I was like, oh man, I've got this game I would give to have the box for it. And someone was like, oh, I've got a box, I'll give it to you. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, someone gave him
viewer,
the
they're just
bound
gonna-
box.
Yeah. So finally it's complete. It's Frankenstein, but it's complete.
Yeah, that's all that matters, really.
That's it. So.
And cool.
Yeah, and the Dracula X, that was a good one. I remember buying that one new. It was like $39 new. That came right when it came out. It was unbelievable. So
Nice.
and Joe hated it because it was
I didn't hate
a blatant rip off of the.
Well, I did like
the PC Engine. version.
It's inferior, but I don't hate it. You hate it. Okay.
I just street passed with you, Joe.
All right.
Just right now?
Yeah.
Cool.
I see you're playing in 3D Space Harrier.
3D Space Harrier on the 3DS, yes.
What do you think of those? All the 3D classics, the 3D Sega classics?
What do I think of the 3D Sega Classics on the 3DS? Well, kind of love and hate. I like what they did. I've only gotten Space Harrier and Super Hang-On so far.
All awesome.
Yeah, I want to get Galaxy Force. I'm kind of disappointed that they chose the Genesis version of Altered Beast instead of the arcade. But yeah, I know why, because it has parallax scrolling and stuff. But I don't know. But my problem with the 3DS is, he has the XL, I don't. I still have the original one, and it's very hard for me to play. It's just so small, and like especially on Super Hang-On, it's hard to get. You have to have your thumb on the gas and the thumb on the turbo, and I have the L button for the brake, which you don't want to press the brake too much in that game, and it's just kind of hard. Space Harrier is a lot easier, but it's interesting what they did, and I liked how on Space Harrier they had the end boss from the Sega Master System version. If you go straight through, they have Haya O in there, which was not in the arcade version. So I thought that was a cool addition.
Yeah.
So they're coming out with Thunderblade. Hopefully they bring it out in the U.S. because that's one that has never had a perfect home port, and that would be great in 3D.
It would. And where's Outrun, damn it?
Yeah.
Outrun needs
Where
to
is
come out on
Outrun?
that thing.
Japan only.
Of course. Absolutely.
It'll be out for Christmas.
Oh,
I
will
hope
it?
so.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, that'd be great. They have to.
They better.
So everybody buy these games so they'll see that we want it. Yes. All right.
What's the most difficult time you've ever had ripping music from a game?
Oh, that would be a me question.
That's a Joe question. Yes.
There's a track that people always comment on a couple of our episodes. I've used it in 2 episodes. It's a reggae mix of ghouls and ghosts. And it's in our Super Graphics episode, and it's in some other episode. And the only way you can listen to that is there's like a sound test in the Saturn version of Sega Capcom Classics 2. And the sound test sounds like ass. It's like it's got this noise over it. So I go into the disc and I copy. I can't remember how it's called, but it's like BGM range 1 dot something. So I just copy that straight to the hard drive. I rename the extension from whatever it was to .aif, and it plays. But it's like a very low quality file. So I had to clean it up with a program I have called Isotope RX, which is an amazing audio software suite. And so I got it to sound really good and really nice. So that was probably the most challenging ripping of music. And other times you just, sound effects get in the way, and it's just awful. And we have a friend, or I have a friend. Well, I guess he's your friend. But we have a friend who gives us a lot of the game music we use in the episode. And they're from full release albums of, like the band will put out, and the band.
He owns these.
Yeah. The software company will put out, here's the soundtrack to such and such a game, and that's how we get it. So, what's up?
You did an episode about talking about connecting your old retro consoles to old school TVs. You said that was always the best way. Did you try SCART to HDMI?
Yes, okay. Hooking up old consoles to HDTV, did we try SCART to HDMI? Yes, we did. The problem with that, they've probably gotten better, but the converters I tried, or the transcoders I've tried, did a really kind of chintzy job taking the signal and putting it out HDMI. It looked like there was like an emulator filter on it. I used it. If you look at our 32X episode, that is all SCART to HDMI, because and if you look closely, you'll see like rounded corners where there should be square corners, and just kind of like weird little stuff. But yeah, hopefully they're getting better. The first one I tried only did 720p, and it looked horrible, and there was tons of combing artifacts, and there's still combing artifacts if you look closely in the 32X episode when things move too fast, and I just don't like that.
There's a really good one on Amazon. It just takes a while to actually get it shipped to you, but this guy on YouTube recommended that.
Yeah, I saw a guy on YouTube recommend the one I got. He was very, very wordy fella. He talked about it for a while, then he showed Knights on the Saturn. Is that the same guy?
That guy, yeah.
Yes, that's the one I got. But
A little more technical. What is the software and hardware that you're using for your editing and capturing?
what is the software and hardware we're using for editing and capture? For capture, we use Final Cut Pro 7. We both have Final Cut Pro 7 for capture. That's the easiest thing we found to capture. It captures right. I mean, you could do it with QuickTime, but it's like a direct feed. We don't go through any switchers or anything. It's like direct into the back of a Sony DSR 25 VCR, and then that goes through FireWire into our Macs, and then that's captured. That's how we capture up to S-video. We also have, or I also have, rather, I hate to recommend Blackmagic, but I have a Blackmagic Shuttle Thunderbolt Pro, whatever intensity, whatever it's called, and which lets you capture like component video, HDMI, and that's great, but it's just Blackmagic really, with their software drivers, is not tremendously dependable. And that captures in ProRes 422 HQ, and which is a format I edit in. And when I edit the episodes, I'm kind of a holdover. I still edit a lot of stuff in Final Cut Pro 7, and I edit a lot of the other stuff in Final Cut Pro X, and yes, I'm calling it X, and not 10. And it takes a while for me to change habits and stuff, and I'm used to Final Cut Pro X, but I can't, when it comes to editing the actual gameplay, I have to do it in Final Cut Pro 7, because I have a workflow that I'm just used to, and I just can't give it up. And so it's just one of those things. And as for hardware, I have a Mac Pro like 2013 that looks like a little black trash can, and then he has some sort of iMac thing. So that's about it, I think.
What was the best deal you've ever gotten on something you bought?
Best deal we've gotten on something we bought? Probably your Earthbound stuff. I mean, you didn't buy it. But
No, I did.
I mean like the box.
Oh, the box. Yeah, that was
Can't be
anything
free,
free
man.
is great, but
Wow.
yeah,
That is hard. We've gotten some good deals. We got some recent.
yeah. Like that Knights of the Round, $10 for that. That's a good deal.
No, I know you had a deal. You're probably not remembering off the top of your head, but didn't you find a sealed black label Final Fantasy
Yes.
VII in that thrift store?
Yes, I
that
did.
is no longer there.
$4.89.
Final Fantasy VII sealed black label, less than
Yes.
$5. I can't beat that.
You got to do a lot of hunting for that one.
you
I do.
happen
I
to
like
find-
to go thrift shopping. So
Yeah.
Do you guys plan on doing more like the random defense videos that we did?
Random battle.
yeah, the random battles.
I would like to,
Yeah.
but the problem with that is Dave, because he has such limited time to spend at the house. Because he's got to go to work early the next morning, and Jen, she literally pulls out random games. She puts random games in the bag and pulls out random games, and so we have to write the episode right there and shoot it right there, and so it takes up so much time to do it correctly.
I'm sure we could do it over.
You want to do one?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do, but I mean, we don't necessarily have to do it over the same night. We could pull it out of the bag and then we can go home.
Oh yeah. What if you don't have the game? What if Snatcher? I'm not loaning you my Snatcher.
Then tell Jen not to put it in the bag.
All these games, Jen, you can't put in the bag.
Yeah.
Well, I can't know what's in the bag. That's not fair. But yes, we'd like to do so.
Yeah, no, those are fun, yeah.
We'll just have to figure it out. We do this all
Make
the time.
no sense, but yeah, they're
So,
fun.
But why not this? Because.
Yeah.
You pick one.
I noticed you guys are sticklers for video quality. This is an area where I am passionate as well. And I was wondering if you guys have tried XRGB, any of those products?
Yes. Okay. Have we tried the XRGB line of products from Micom Soft, which is basically a video scaler which takes input and like upscales it to HDMI, stuff like that. I recently tried a FrameMeister, bought one from Japan for $300 some odd, and I was like, oh, this will be cool. It'll just upscale my stuff. I can record it via HDMI. It's gonna look freaking great. Problem with the Blackmagic, going back to that, is Blackmagic is very, very strict about what kind of signals you can input into their hardware. And the FrameMeister is not broadcast legal. So instead of 5997 or whatever, 5994, whatever the refresh rate is, it's like slightly off. Like it's like 5995 or whatever. So Blackmagic just won't record it. So I had to get rid of my FrameMeister. It worked great, but I just couldn't record it, and that's the reason I bought it. But if you just want to play games, yeah, I definitely recommend one.
3 says scan lines.
What?
On the 2 and 3,
Uh-huh.
it says scan lines.
Yeah. Yeah, the scan lines are cool.
Since you guys are in Dallas, you're gonna go do some really Dallas things, like get some real Mexican food, join the NRA, look at local consultation.
Are we gonna do Dallas things while we're in Dallas?
I don't know. Where do you get that big 76-ounce steak thingy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
We're not going that far.
Well, I went
You
through
can
it
go
coming
on
in.
your way back home.
No, I'm not doing that. I've been in Texas many, many times. It's probably,
This is my
I don't
first
know
time
how
in
many,
Texas.
probably my 10th time in Texas is your first time.
My first time.
But I don't know what there is to do in Dallas that's specifically Dallas, except call the city the Metroplex, because that's what they do. They call it the Metroplex. And I think Metroplex is a transformer. So if it doesn't transform, I'm going to be pissed.
So my friend and I are trying to get into like console modding, so I was wondering if you guys know any like kind of cool beginner products to kind of get started.
Best way to get started in console modding. I would probably try something simple, like a region switch, say like on a Genesis, because that's super easy to do. And there's just like jumpers. You just open it up, you see like some jumpers, and you just gotta, I think you cut a trace or two, and then you gotta solder a switch between the other traces, and then just decide what you want the switches to be, like if you want it up being Japanese or whatever. And you know, it's pretty easy, gets you used to soldering and stuff like that, not too hard. The first thing I ever did to my Genesis was to actually file down the cartridge slot so I could take Mega Drive games. And then I had to replace the headphone jack because I don't know why it was noisy. And so I put in a different headphone jack, and I've since put in an original Genesis headphone jack back in there. And but you know, easy stuff like that, and like a region switch is pretty good. Not on the Saturn. Saturn is tough to do a region. At least it used to be when I did mine. You had to have a 4-pole double throw switch. You know.
I do, yeah. I've
And,
got that on my Saturn.
But I think it's easier to do on the Saturn now.
Do you think the original Game Boy has aged well, and are there any games in that system that you still play today?
It has the original Game Boy aged well, and is there still stuff you play today?
I have the original Game Boy. I don't play it because I don't like the fading on the screen when you're playing and having to be in direct light to play it. So, but the games, I think a lot of them have aged well. There's a lot of games I do still like to play. We were talking about
You
Kid
love
Kid Dracula. Yeah, I still like playing that one. Gargoyle's Quest I like to play. And of course, I just did some Castlevania stuff for our regional difference episode that I still love those Castlevania games on there.
You've said it out loud in the episodes before, but you should reiterate what you think about the Game Boy sound chip. You love it.
What do I love it.
Yeah, I mean, you said it was one of your favorites.
Yeah, much more enthusiastic. I do like the Game Boy music.
Yeah.
I really do. And people think you're odd for liking game music, but
And that's one of the episodes
Whatever,
we're trying
yeah.
to figure out how to do is something about game music. Maybe we just cover different games and, hey, I like the music in this game, let's talk about it. I don't know.
I know, but how do you play samples long enough so people can get the
Keep them
melody
12
and gist?
seconds and under.
Yes.
So,
Pretty tough.
Death to Hidden Gem and Heavy Barrels though, you listen to the game music in that for the NES. Good stuff.
Heavy barrel.
Heavy barrel on the
Heavy barrel.
NES.
Yeah, we got that.
Right.
I do.
You do? I do not. I'll
I'll bring
listen
it
to
to
it.
Yes.
You play it, I'll listen.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody already asked, but related to music, what's your favorite video game soundtrack?
What is our favorite video game
Yeah.
soundtrack? That is hard.
That is a hard one.
I have so much, and I've never actually chosen a favorite. But you know, I used to always like the theme to Space Harrier because it's so classic. But you know, I can only listen to so many arrangements before like, okay, let's listen to something else, like
Yeah.
Outrun, which is awesome.
Outrun
Streets
is
of Rage
awesome,
2.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I could just go on and on. And there's just lots of stuff on the TurboGrafx too, because I really like that sound chip.
Yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff.
And
Unfortunately, Nintendo has really good melodies, but their music seems to be very short and it repeats a lot. So it's really hard to enjoy it on a level like with Outrun. You know, all those tracks are over 5 minutes long, and they're just awesome. So Sega really, their sound department had definitely a better edge over Nintendo in that.
Coming from a Nintendo
I know,
fanboy,
they
folks.
did. I am admitting Sega definitely did way better than Nintendo, and of course Sunsoft. They did
Sunsoft
some really good
they used to be amazing
Nintendo
up until they
music.
started getting halfway through their Genesis stuff.
Yes, did
They
some
were
amazing
just
soundtracks.
every Sunsoft game almost.
Yeah.
Almost all of the NES stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
Silliest.
amazing soundtrack.
It's
Batman on the Genesis.
Batman.
They did a couple more that weird.
Was the guy, the Devil's Crush guy?
Devil's Crush guy.
Yeah. Oh man.
I am going to murder his name.
Yes.
He's
but-
my friend on Facebook.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm having you say it.
The guy who did the music for Devil's Crush.
Oh, that's some great music.
Toshiaki, I think it's Sakota.
Yeah.
He's
definitely
a subscriber of GameSack,
He is,
which is
yeah,
an
and he's-
amazing honor. And
Yeah,
so
it is.
So is the Wonder Boy guy. Johnny
Oh, yeah.
Millennium would know.
I
his
remember
name,
that, yeah.
but,
No,
And
because he commented on your video.
and they contacted us, which is totally awesome. I mean, you don't get
Great
that.
praise.
And it's like when a maker of a game, that's
Yeah, I know.
like amazing.
It's like out of this world.
You know, it's like meeting an actor, but they want to meet you. And
Yeah, I know.
It's weird.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
From a production standpoint, what advice or tips could you give a small YouTuber who's trying to get noticed?
That's tough because, I want to give advice like, always color correct your stuff, but I don't really think that matters. I mean, it matters to me, but it's not going to make people watch your stuff. I'm kind of anal about the quality and stuff. I just think be enthusiastic. People say we're like droll and boring, but you just gotta love the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I do, and I think Dave does. I
Of course
really watch
I
it.
still, I'm still here, but
So yeah, just have fun. I think is the best thing.
show enthusiasm, natural enthusiasm for it.
Yeah.
People, I think, will latch on to that.
Cool.
Okay. My favorite segments are whenever you compare it to like a Genesis, Super Nintendo versions and all the different versions.
The side by sides.
I was wondering, were you guys interested in doing a segment where you just literally play the game raw and it takes literally no time to edit and you can just release it real fast? Because I would be interested in watching that. Some people may not.
Are you talking like a let's play type of thing?
It's sort
But
of
with both of us?
Yeah.
Yes, maybe. Stay tuned. Don't worry, everybody. The channel's gonna remain the same. So, but we won't have anything like that on our channel. Maybe somewhere else. Stay tuned is all I can say right now. So,
Have either of you watched Game Center CX?
Yes, I like that show. Yeah.
Game Center CX.
Yeah, I like that show a lot. I don't know what to say about it besides it's just very highly entertaining. And man, I just wish there was more of them out there. It's hard because the only place I watch them is on YouTube. It seems like sometimes they're on there and other times they're gone. So I don't know, if there's another place dedicated that you can watch it. But that is a great show.
So,
I just want to follow up and ask, do you have any preference or opinion on the Sega Ages collection, things that are released on Saturn, PS2?
Sega Ages on the Saturn and PS2.
Saturn's good.
The Saturn stuff is
Yeah.
good because it's usually the arcade direct. I mean, with sometimes like in the Outrun, they have the arranged music if you get the Japanese version. Those were good, except like Power Drift and what's that other one? Galaxy Force. They run at half the frame rate, but I still think they're pretty cool. Stuff on the PS2, they're weird because they rebuilt them all with polygons.
Did that. Yeah.
Like that.
And then made it tough.
Yeah, well, the Fantasy Zone is actually pretty good.
That one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has all the other games on it too, which is good.
Weird, but it was interesting. Interesting to try. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, you guys did a great crossover episode with Happy Console Gamer, and that was pretty good. Are you planning to maybe do future crossovers with some of the other YouTube celebrities that are springing up?
Are we going to do future crossovers? Maybe. No concrete plans yet.
I would like to. Definitely would love to. Those are always fun.
Yeah, not sure how to do some of them. But yeah, we definitely like to. Just we don't want it to be, crossover sack. So not too often, but maybe sometimes.
Cool.
coolest thing that happened to us. I mean, we're sitting here in front of you fine
Yeah,
folks
this is
answering questions.
quite
I
a
mean, that's
pleasure.
pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
3 years ago, we wouldn't have done that.
Thank you. Yeah, that we actually got some fan mail from. It's hard to tell when you get a written letter from somebody, the age of a person. But this person seemed to be of, what do you say, about 10 years old or so?
I guess.
It's just, it's just cool to get fan mail like that, just complimenting you on the show and whatnot. But I don't know. I actually like that very
I'll
much.
have to perform more penmanship analysis on the handwriting.
I know. It's
So-
send somebody trying to get a free T-shirt or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, they were asking for a shirt. I want the one that Joe wears because
Yeah.
I wear the better shirt.
Well, I showed that letter to my wife. She's like, "I'm gonna buy him a T-shirt."
Really?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Aw. So whoever you are out there, you're getting a T-shirt, I guess.
No, maybe.
I don't know.
Any plans for a DVD or Blu-ray release?
Any plans for a DVD or Blu-ray release? Yes, and kind of. We've got like a list of episodes that actually, I'd like to ask what you guys think about this. Would you like all the episodes, like a volume 1, like 1 through 20 on the first set, and then we come out like a year later with 20 through, because they start getting longer, 20 through 35 or something?
Yeah.
Or would you like a best of, compilation,
Consoles or something.
Yeah,
Console
I don't know. What would you guys like?
All of them.
All episodes?
All of them.
Okay.
Right.
The whole set.
Yeah.
Commentary, yeah.
The whole set. Nice. Yes, we have started working on the volume 1 through 20. Where this is at right now, we're not sure. We want to record commentary for every single thing we put on there. The Blu-ray, we really want to do a Blu-ray. The problem is, at this point in time, is there's no good Blu-ray authoring software. We have something called Adobe Encore, which is the best you can get at the consumer level, and it sucks my ass. And it can only do 1080p at 24 frames per second, and I need it 30 frames per second. And I don't want to do it 1080i, because our episodes are 1080p 30. So once we can figure that stuff out and stuff like that, we'll try to get it out. We got 20 minutes.
We got 20 minutes.
Yeah,
till
the,
next
ne-
panelist
the next panelist is late.
is running late, so ask away. Yes.
Alpha.
Hey, okay. Favorite third-party company and the stand-up titles for said company that make your favorite.
Favorite third-party company and favorite titles. You go first.
Well, as we stated in the show, Konami is going to be my favorite third party, and just because of my love for Castlevania. Of course, they've got other great series of like Contra and whatnot, but Castlevania by far is one of my favorite.
I want to say Hudson Soft. They're very underrepresented. I mean, they have some stinkers here and there, but they did all of
They do have some
the.
good
I guess they're not really a third party on the Turbo, are they? But I just
Yeah, they're
like
probably
them.
second
But they're a
party.
third party on the Nintendo, so I guess they count. But I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe. Oh man. See, these are the kind of questions you were afraid of, and
I know,
I can't
well,
answer. So
I know, 'cause-
you answered it fine. Konami is good because they have. I really like Castlevania. I really like Sparkster, the first one, Rocket Knight Adventures. Although the Super Nintendo one wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and Sunsoft because of the great music. Wow. I'll get back to you.
Come on, just answer it.
What's the worst fan experience you've ever had?
Worst fan experience we've ever had.
I haven't had one yet, really.
No, I mean like interaction one-on-one. This is our first time interacting
Yeah.
one-on-one. So no one's commented like
Yeah,
slapped
everybody
us
did
yet,
that.
or yeah, someone came and shook our hand and just walked away after 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be stay longer. But as far as on the there's been people who, everyone has trolls, but there's been people who just like they have to be right, and of course I'm very responsive to those type of things, probably too much so. So they start cutting down my show.
Yeah, well, it's natural to defend
I
it. so.
know, and I probably shouldn't do that, but we get a lot of those, and I don't really remember any in particular, but other than the aforementioned.
Yeah, just the internet trolls. Those are the only negative stuff. So.
In terms of attendance, what's the largest convention you've been to?
This one. This is our first convention that we've been to. So.
What was the question?
As far as attendance, what's the biggest convention you've been to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the.
I was at a Star Trek one that had more.
Well,
I
didn't know you were Trekkie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you guys should come to Screw Attack Gaming Con here in Dallas, in the middle of the summer.
We
Yeah.
heard about that. Problem is, it's the middle of the summer and we'd melt.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if
Yeah.
they invite us, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if we can make it.
Yeah.
If I can get out of
The
work.
problem is Dave.
I'm the problematic one. I mean, unfortunately, I've got
Always
the
the problem.
40+ hour a week job that I'm
Yeah.
bound to. So
He cannot choose his days off. Very
sadly,
rarely.
no.
So. All right. Any more? Well, I'll let you.
care.
Did you like any of the Phantasy Star games after Sega?
Did I like any of the Phantasy Star games? You mean after they stopped
Like
making
Fantasy
hardware?
Star Online?
After they stopped on, like
Yeah.
on GameCube.
I like Phantasy Star 1 through 4. Yes, I kind of like 3. It's black sheep, but yes. Phantasy Star Online, everyone loves it. I could never get into it. I played through it online all the way with 3 other guys and finished it. I'm like, okay, this is not Phantasy Star. I mean, it's something else. Sure, that's great, but I don't know what about. It's not really Phantasy Star to me.
Never really had a great. I mean, when we first started playing that, I had a dial-up connection and you had the broadband connection, so it was impossible for me to get a game. I mean, I would constantly get disconnected. So
I had to hack my save file to get that broadband modem to work with that game. I'm serious, I had to do that.
I believe it.
So, crazy. We had like 2 more over here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been asked. Are you gonna upload this?
Are we going to upload this? I plan to, if it turns out okay. I'm sure there'll be some horrible problem
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
right.
Audio's just like,
Just like that, yeah.
But yes, I plan to. We had one more over here.
Yeah, you spoke about Streets of Rage music. Have you played the Streets of Rage remake?
Have we played the Streets of Rage remake? Yes. Yes, it has excellent music. One of the guys, I'm totally spacing his name right now, but he's doing the music for the new Project Y that's coming out on the Genesis. And it's Groove Master. It's a homebrew fighting, beat 'em up type RPG thing. I don't know. It's coming out and supposedly this year. But I've heard some of the music samples and it sounds amazing for the Genesis. And the Streets of Rage remake was done by 3 guys who did the music, and great remixes. So, you pick. What are my favorite sugars?
Sugars? Oh, there's Baby Ruth and.
Oh, shooters.
Shooters. Man.
I am biased towards Technosoft.
Yeah, I knew you'd say Technosoft.
Yeah, but I do like Compile. I like pretty much everything Compile. Toshiaki Sakota, who we were talking about before, used to be a producer for Compile. And I remember talking about a game on Facebook or something like that. That was a Compile game. He's like, oh, I produced that one. So that was cool.
Yeah,
but
amazing,
like,
yeah.
they make R-Type on the Master System.
Mm-hmm. I am horrible at shooters, so I don't play a lot of them. But God, I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to say.
IRIM?
No, IRIM. You don't like people give Konami stuff a lot of flack, like Gradius and stuff.
Gradius.
I like them. Yeah, Gradius. Yeah, it's all whatever. But I like those. I don't know.
That's hard.
They are hard.
No.
Okay.
The question's hard.
Is that it? Anybody else?
Yeah.
Where do you guys get the awesome shirts you guys wear in your videos?
I'm surprised it took this long for that question to be asked. Where do we get the awesome shirts? I get mine on eBay. I got this one, I believe, on Redbubble. And then there's 2 shirt sites that I don't visit anymore that I've gotten a few of them. Shirt Punch and T-Fury, which have different shirt designs every day, and they're usually like crossover related, like two subjects meshed into one.
And they're good because those two sites are like they're like one's $11 and the other's $10 for a shirt, and they're cheap, but you have to get them on that day, so you have to look every day. I mean, they do have galleries where you can go to and maybe pick some of them out later, but they have the price at like 18 or 20 bucks after that. So
You pick.
no,
There's,
Do you guys plan on doing, I don't know if this question was already asked, any more console specific episodes?
do we plan on doing more console-specific episodes? Yes. I don't know if you were here when we kind of went over that before. We got a Sega CD episode in the works, CDI and Nuon. We want to get it to every console that we can. Even the Genesis and the Super Nintendo we'll eventually get to. People definitely ask about those, but those are stuff we have to make sure we do them right and stuff like that. And I wouldn't even mind redoing the TurboGrafx one because that was our first one, and that was kind of
I wouldn't mind redoing that either.
So yes, absolutely. Thought we had one more.
My friend had a question.
Oh, yeah. Has anyone recognized you in public?
Has anyone ever recognized us in public? I guess this isn't a public venue.
Other than here.
Other than here.
Yeah.
Like in public, like randomly.
Yes, but kind of at at a game store.
Yeah,
So
local
does that
game
even
store,
count?
Yeah.
It's like you walk into the game store. Oh, Game Sack. I got to charge you $10,000 for that. So yes, I've gotten recognized in game stores.
Yeah, game stores, but that's it.
I haven't been like
Sure.
shopping.
No.
Like grocery shopping. Like, oh, Joe from Game Sack.
I know.
Dave,
I wear this Game Sack shirts out and about, and nobody's ever said anything. So
That makes me sad. Tell your friends to recognize us, please. We have anyone?
You guys think I'll ever do another Left in the Arcade episode?
Will we do another Left in the Arcade? Absolutely, because we have a list of games that were never brought home, and so we want to.
You guys, in the previous ones, had to do a lot of main stuff, and you're not the biggest fans of that, but would y'all
Yeah.
going out and finding these games and actually recording from the machines?
Oh, if we could. That's the problem with the arcade games is they have weird frequencies and they're very, very hard to record. And even through like FrameMeister and stuff like that.
Have you experimented with the SC500 series of capture cards to record RGB to definitive frame rates?
Have we recorded this? Have we experimented with the SEG whatever? No, because I have a Mac and Macs do not do that. So, yes. Go ahead.
Have you ever been to Galloping Ghost Arcade in Chicago?
Have I ever been to Galloping Ghost Arcade in Chicago? Probably not. I don't think I've been to Chicago.
I've never been to
so-
Chicago.
So
I would like to though.
What's your favorite episode you've done so far and your least favorite after you gained your
Boy.
What are our favorite and least favorite episodes? Two of my favorites are the 16-bit FMV Madness because we were actually running the entire episode off of a real Sega CD, and all the video footage of us was coming from the Sega CD, and also the WTF episode.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and
I
I
mean,
think
since we had footage of us from years and years back, which came in handy, which was very nice.
And least favorites, probably the N64. I don't know. It's just because it didn't turn out as well as I wanted.
Well,
And
that's
I feel like I let people down, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have anything that's real. I think it's just some of the earlier ones where we're still kind of getting a grasp of what the hell's going on. What we're trying to do, and we still didn't know what we're doing, but. Okay. One
more.
last question. Okay, no more. No. just kidding.
Do you like Power Rangers? If so, which series is your favorite?
Power Rangers episode? That would be tough to fill in whole
I
But
like
if you're-
some of the Super Nintendo games.
If you're a fan of Power Rangers, keep watching a couple episodes in the future. We might show something from that series.
Yes. Yeah, because there's some good Super Nintendo games in there.
Yeah. Well, the Genesis beat 'em up is kind of good
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So, anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming.
Yes.
This has been totally awesome.
Yeah, thank you.